On the news, court denies suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari bail over transfer of prison. People's Democratic Party mocks ruling All Progressives Congress of a new national chairman, Abdullahi Adamu. And the Lagos State Governor insists on eviction order on upon-born traders. Hello and welcome to News Now. I am Mary Kanu. A federal high court in Abuja has remanded the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari and Assistant Commissioner of Police Sunday Ubua to Kuje Correctional Center. This follows the refusal of Justice Emeka Wite to grant Kyari and his co-defendants a bail application. In a ruling on Monday, Justice Wite held that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency had placed sufficient evidence before the court refused the bail request. The judge further held that Abba Kyari's medical challenge is not beyond the capacity of the NDLEA as he is a flight risk. The court therefore transferred Kyari and Ubua to Kuje Correctional Center. The two defendants who pleaded guilty to the offense were transferred to Suleja Correctional Center with April 28 fixed for ruling in review of facts of their case.
The court has adjourned for the 27th of April for the ruling. Because in the last sitting, we were served a counter affidavit, which of course we responded to. And based on that, we moved our motion today. And the court adjourned for 27th. We are hoping that the judge will, benevolently, like I requested, grant us 1 out of the 7 kola nuts before the court.
And to political matters, two-time former Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Adamu has emerged the national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC. The former Nasarawa State Governor was adopted as a consensus candidate by over 7,500 delegates at the national convention of the party held in Eagle Square, Abuja on Saturday. Also elected through consensus is Ima Enuku from Enugu State as the deputy national chairman South. The consensus candidates were confirmed through voice vote at the national convention of the party. Our correspondent Folashade Ogorinde tells us more in this next report.
Despite uncertainties surrounding its national convention amid months of intense politicking, the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has elected Senator Abdullahi Adamu as the party's new national chairman. Adamu's emergence came through a voice vote by party members and leaders after President Muhammadu Buhari's insistence of Adamu as his preferred choice.
So all in favor of the affirmation and the election of Senator Abdullahi Adamu say yay. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The event was, however, not devoid of controversies, as drama ensued at the convention when some disgruntled candidates expressed dissatisfaction with the emergence of some consensus candidates who emerged through voice vote.
My name is Mary Ekbreta, contesting for National Woman Leader APC. I will not withdraw my aspiration.
Thank you very much. There is contest for National Woman Leader.
I want to say it very clear that I'm not stepping down for the post I want to go for National Welfare Secretary. I have suffered for this party. I walked through this party from here to start it everywhere. We started this party, it was only few people. And now somebody that just joined the party last 3 months or 4 months, they want him to be the national welfare. I'm standing for it.
President Buhari arrived at the venue at about 8:30 p.m. to oversee proceedings witnessed by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), diaspora APC supporters and international observers. In his address, President Muhammadu Buhari called for unity among all party executives. He also warned the new leadership of the party to guide against the imposition of candidates ahead of the 2023 polls.
We appreciate the right to hold different opinions and aspirations. However, such differences must not be to the detriment of the party. Recently, I had called to intervene in the leadership crisis, which was about to cause confusion in the party. Such internal disputes are common in young democracies such as ours, but we must avoid overheating the polity and not allow our differences to tear and frustrate the party.
We will continue in the task of building a strong, united, fair, and just Nigeria. A Nigeria where every young man and woman can find opportunities to work and prosper. And we will not relent, we will not look back, and will not falter. And by the grace of God, this party, our party, the All Progressive Congress, will in the coming decades lead Nigeria and its great peoples to its manifest destiny.
On his part, Senate President Hamad Lawan urged members of the party not to be swayed by the opposition, adding that the APC has the best interests of all Nigerians at heart.
I promised you before they will build or construct the second Niger bridge. They broke the ground and they ran away. They came back, broke the ground for the second time and ran away. Never did anything. Third time, they were pushed out of office. We promised you only once, and we have almost achieved it. By the grace of God, before the end of this year, Mr. President will go and commission the second Niger bridge.
All things being equal, we intend to revisit the issue of women inclusion in our constitution's soonest. We must do this because ours is a party of inclusion. This is the promise of the progressive movement, and we have kept the faith. As we have gathered here today from across the regions of our country, representing every religion, tribe, and gender, I urge you, fellow progressives, to adopt this motto of nation building a joint task and act accordingly.
With the much-awaited APC convention out of the way, all eyes are now on the new APC chairman to successfully conduct its primaries and to ensure that the ruling party retains power in the 2023 elections. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has mocked the All Progressives Congress over the imposition of Senator Abdullahi Adamu as its national chairman. In a statement released on Sunday, the PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba revealed that Adamu has been arraigned in court on 149 counts of alleged fraudulent award of contracts and stealing of public funds estimated at 15 billion naira. The PDP described the just concluded APC National Convention as a convention of lies, celebration of illegality, corruption and arrogance and failure, adding that any leadership birthed through such process can only be corrupt and illegal. Ologunagba stressed that the composition of the APC national leadership is a clear confirmation that President Muhammadu Buhari has never been committed to the fight against corruption, as well as his willingness to further open the country's national vaults to treasury looters in the APC. Well, to discuss this further, Murphy Abadoni, political affairs analyst, joins us on the news. Well, thank you for joining us. Now, let's kick off this discussion from the statement made by the PDP National Publicity Secretary, that is Debo Ologunagba, who revealed a string of alleged cases of corruption against the new APC National Chairman, Abdullahi Adamu. Now, what do you make of this?
Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, in a sane society, one would expect that a man who has served as a two-term governor of a state a man who is also a sitting senator, ordinarily should be qualified to contest and occupy any office in the Federation. But coming down to our environment like you know it to be, where virtually all the political office holders, both past and present, has one issues of corruption or the other, then one will now begin to wonder why somebody like Abdullahi Adamu would emerge the chairman of APC at this point, especially just like as PDP has alleged, especially a man who has issues of corruption hanging on his neck. There was a case, just like PDP alleged too, there was a case of over 15 billion naira hanging on his neck. My findings have shown that that case was even taken to the Federal High Court. That case went as far as a court of appeal. But as it is now, I cannot specifically tell you the actual state of that case in this point. So that boils down to the point that we still have a long way to go as a country and as a people. A situation whereby in 2023, in 21st century, we are still amongst over 200 million Nigerians. We are still being compelled to give out opportunities to the same hold hands, not just hold hands, but people who have one issues or the other, people who have questions to answer. But being that as it may, when you now go further to look at those that are accusing APC of this conduct, you ask yourself, have they done any better on the other side? The PDP has said this man, Abdullahi Adamu, that is being accused today by the PDP, was also a member of the People's Democratic Party.
Well, Murphy, I would have to cut you here to ask another question now for want of time. Now,
okay.
With the APC convention done and dusted, how do you see the party's primaries playing out? Would a consensus candidate also emerge, especially for the seat of the president?
If you ask me, considering what we have seen so far, considering the series of crises that have bedeviled the party for quite a long time, you know how long we have waited for this convention, you know all the fears that we all had, both party members and non-party members. I want to strongly believe, because whether you like it or not, I think the convention ended up very successful, unlike many of us thought, because there were a series of crises and no right man in his right who thinking say would have thought that that convention was going to be that peaceful, but good that it's made it, they had it peaceful. One would want to believe that the APC is most likely going to toe the same line. This is my personal opinion. But I want to believe that the APC is likely going to toe the same line in choosing their presidential flag bearer. This is a personal opinion, but I want to believe that we will toe the same line because it has worked perfectly for them in choosing their national party chairman, and they will most likely want to go the same way.
All right. Murphy Abadani, political affairs analyst, thank you for joining us on the news and for your contributions. While still in political matters, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has declared that he will be vying for the office of the President of Nigeria under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Governor Wike, who made his intention known in Makurdi, Benue State, after a meeting with PDP stakeholders on Sunday, stressed that his priority would be to tackle insecurity in the country. While urging Nigerians not to sell their votes, Governor Wike said he will ensure power returns to the opposition People's Democratic Party come 2023.
I'm going to run for the presidency of this country. I'm declaring for the first time in Benue State, because of my special relationship with them. People are suspected, but let it be known today, and announcing it in Benue State. Today, you can't talk about security, in this country. And you must understand that without security, you can't talk about governance. One first thing that anybody takes out of office is that you must protect life and property. If you can't protect life and property, they can't talk about the governance. So the major thing said that our people should be alive. See what has happened in Kaduna. For the first time in the history of this country, terrorists taking over or trying to take over airport. It means we have gotten to the point where we're talking about, in the farm. It has gone beyond farm now. That it is the airport where planes may not be able to land. And if they are landing, nobody's safe. They can use sovereign missile to shoot down the plane. It's a major thing. And what that means that security will be our priority.
The federal government has raised an alarm over the alleged plan by an opposition political party to sabotage the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Minister of Information Lai Mohammed on Monday claimed that the opposition was trying to trigger another EndSARS protest to overheat the polity. Mohammed boasted that while the PDP wasted 16 years without leaving behind any legacy, even with huge oil revenues, the APC-led federal government has delivered many monumental projects across the country with lower oil prices. He alleged that the People's Democratic Party's desperation to return to power in 2023 was responsible for its plan to sabotage the President Muhammadu Buhari regime.
If we left a sound economy, if we left behind the sound economy, the sound infrastructure, we'll not be we'll not be completing the 30-year-old Itakpe Warri. We'll not be building a brand new standard gauge rail from Lagos to Ibadan. We will not. How many times have they on paper launched the Niger Bridge, the second Niger Bridge? How many times did they re-award the Lagos Ibadan Expressway? You see, and I said, we were in opposition, but we were viable, we were vibrant, and we did not seek to destroy Nigeria. Anybody in Nigeria today, whether political party or individual that is wishing for another answer does not deserve to rule this country. We are not saying that the opposition should not criticize, but they should not promote anarchy. But we never promoted anarchy in our time.
And to electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has organized an induction retreat for its national commissioners on Monday. Speaking of the event, the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, reassured Nigerians of the Commission's commitment to conduct credible polls in 2023. According to him, the Commission has concluded the strategic plans of 2022 to 2026 and election project plan for the 2023 general elections and will soon finalize works on the regulations and guidelines for elections.
The Commission is also working on the distribution of voters to polling units across the country, following the successful expansion of voter access to polling units. Very soon, we'll roll out the plan for achieving a more balanced distribution of voters to polling units. As always, we'll engage with stakeholders across the board to ensure a more participatory approach so that the exercise is seamless and voters will have a more pleasant experience at polling units on election day.
On his part, the Chief Technical Advisor to INEC Chairman Bolade Yinla explained that the retreat is important to ensure that newly inducted commissioners are familiar with the mandate of the Commission in order to meet the standard of international best practice.
At the end of the retreat, it is our belief that the new commissioners will understand their roles and responsibilities as neutral, impartial, and non-partisan election managers and administrators with a burden to conduct and deliver free, fair, credible, and inclusive elections in accordance with the law. We also believe that at the end of the retreat, The commissioners will have familiarized themselves with the Commission's planning and monitoring documents and tools.
The Commission is proactively analyzing the Electoral Act, developing electoral regulations, strategizing to deliver yet the best election in this country come 2023. IFE's commitment to continue partnering with INEC and its members in its quest to not only conduct credible elections in Nigeria, but also motivate EMBs within the sub-region and the continent as a whole.
Any hope that the eviction notice issued to traders at the Akwambon Bridge might be revoked has been dashed. This comes as the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday told traders with stores located around Akwambon Bridge that there is no going back on the eviction order issued to them by the government. Governor Sanwo-Olu, during an on-the-spot assessment of the bridge, said the traders need to vacate the location so that extensive clearing can be done as the bridge needs to be repaired. He explained that the 7-day eviction notice given to the traders will elapse on Wednesday and no one is expected to remain under the bridge by then. The governor also assured them that plans will be put in place to rehabilitate the traders. Well, let's take a break now, but still to come, a federal government borrowing from CBN hits 18.16 trillion naira. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break. Welcome back. A recap now of some of our top stories tonight. A federal high court in Abuja has remanded the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari and Assistant Commissioner of Police Sunday Obua to Kuje Correctional Center. In a ruling on Monday, Justice Wite held that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency had placed sufficient evidence before the court to refuse the bail request. We also told you that the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday told traders with stores located around Akwambon Bridge that there is no going back on the eviction order issued to them by the government. Governor Sanwo-Olu, during an on-the-spot assessment of the bridge, said the traders need to vacate the location so that extensive clearing can be done and the bridge be repaired. Well, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 stories and updates. Ghana has reopened its land and sea borders after a 2-year closure as it lifted some coronavirus restrictions in an attempt to bolster a flagging economy. President Nana Akufo-Addo also announced in a televised address that the wearing of masks in the West African country is no longer mandatory as active COVID-19 cases drop below 100. He added that Ghanaian citizens and foreign residents who are unvaccinated or not fully vaccinated will be granted waivers by the Ghana Health Service to allow them entry into the country. We'll take a break and return with business, international and sports updates. So stay with us. Welcome back. It's time for business news and stock market review with Abisola Adebayo. Abisola, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mary. Welcome to Business News. Latest data from the Central Bank of Nigeria indicates that federal government's total borrowing from the Apex Bank through ways and means advances has risen to 8.92 trillion naira in 2 years. According to a year-on-year analysis, it rose from 9.24 trillion naira as of January 2020 to 18.16 trillion naira as of January 2022. The report further clarified that 18.16 trillion naira owed by the federal government to the Apex Bank is not part of the country's total public debt stock, which stood at 39.56 trillion naira as of December 2021, according to the Debt Management Office. Well, we'll take a break now and return with a review of the stock market. The record sell-off in Nigeria's stock market continued into this new week as investors moved to take profit in medium and large capitalized stocks from several sectors in the market. At the close of trading, the market benchmark indicator dropped further by 0.15% and still remained way below the 47,000 level point. Meanwhile, total value of listed equities declined by almost 40 billion naira to close at 25.273 trillion naira. Moving on, the continued downturn in the market overall performance is largely attributed to sell pressure on 22 equities, which are led by publishing firm Learn Africa PLC and Unity Bank, as they recorded a combined 25 kobo loss. On the flip side, as our top gainers for today, Better Glass and PZ Cousins led the gainers counter as they recorded a combined 6 naira 15 kobo gain. Meanwhile, the performance on the activity chart was quite impressive when compared to the previous session. Today's data shows 103% improvement in volume as 359 million units of shares valued at 2 billion naira exchanged hands in 5,163 deals. Well, the bearish turnout in the market today was expected because analysts last week predicted cautious trading activities to continue on the NGX pending any significant change in the economic conditions, as market players continue to observe the nation's economic development and what is happening in the fixed income market, with yields and rates becoming mixed and flattish. Moving on to the global market, the FTSE, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei, they are all in the negative territory. London's FTSE ended lower on Monday as gains in consumer staples on the back of weaker pound were countered by weaker energy stocks as oil prices fell on China demand worries. US stocks were also down on Monday as investors prepared for a busy week rife with key economic data that could position the Federal Reserve to act more aggressively on plans to raise interest rates. Japan stocks Nikkei also slipped, with investors locking in profit following a 9-day winning streak ahead of the fiscal year end this week. That's why it's closing at 0.73% decline. That's all on stock market reports. Back to you, Mary, for the rest of the news.
Well, Abisola, many thanks for that update. Moving on to the global scene, the Kremlin has said talks between negotiators from Moscow and Kiev have so far made no major breakthroughs on the conflict in Ukraine as the delegations prepare for a new round of talks in Istanbul. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters during his daily press briefing. Peskov said the delegations were arriving on Monday and it was unlikely that talks would resume the same day. Russia and Ukraine have failed to make a breakthrough in their first top-level talks on March 10 in Turkey since Moscow sent its troops into Ukraine in late February. Well, in sports, FIFA, in collaboration with UNESCO, has partnered with Generation Amazing and Qatar Foundation, a human and social legacy project of the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, to contribute to the education, development and empowerment of around 700 million children globally. Speaking on the development, ambassadors of the project and professional players held the newly signed partnership, saying it would act as a conduit to enable both parties make collaborative efforts to work on the enhancement of football for development initiatives.
Football for School is the biggest project for FIFA Foundation, and to explain it with short words, you have two very important words in our programs: school, football, football, school. We combine two things very important for the society: education and sport. Through sport, you gain some confidence, some trust, some united, some defeat sometimes, victory.
Look, I think it's amazing. FIFA football for schools, firstly. I was there in Lebanon when we launched the first ever program, which was incredible because it really does make an impact to the country, to the local community. And now with Qatar Foundation, Generation Amazing, all the work that we've been doing for the last 2 years domestically, it's been a privilege because it's about keeping kids active, boys and girls, grassroots programs, education. And this is another conduit towards that platform.
Former football players, I think that's very important, but they can also see that you're just a normal person, just as humble as they are. We all started, you know, from a humble beginning, so we all started like how they did. So that's also something that they look up to. So if they have any questions regarding football, but also how to become a better human, I think that's the main target from days like this.
Well, on that note, we call it a wrap on the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.